Hello, happy Thursday. So, I've been doing a lot of videos, live videos on TikTok recently, and just kind of a series of things relating to mindset, unconscious mind, and how beliefs can get in the way when it comes to getting better with MS and getting a lot of positive engagement and interaction there. So, I wanted to share some of that content with you as well. And so, if you're the kind of person who's been working really hard, you've been cleaning up your diet, you're exercising, you're taking supplements, but your MS symptoms still won't budge. You're not alone. I did all of those things in the past too, and yes, they mattered. Diet was the first one that made a big change for me, but there was a deeper layer that I didn't even see at first. I actually didn't see it until my spouse pointed it out to me a while ago because I thought nutrition was the biggest thing that helped me move towards the symptom free life that I've been able to live for almost 9 years now. Actually, it is about 9 years now. And so the underlying thing was the belief shifts that had to happen for me to open my mind to these other different opportunities. If you think about if you've ever gone through an experience of looking for a new car, and all of a sudden the car that you're thinking about buying shows up everywhere. You see them all over the roads. And then you don't un sorry, the other cars didn't just disappear. So the example I always use is a Nissan Rogue. Don't know why, because I've never owned a Nissan, but the Honda Civics don't disappear. The Toyotas don't disappear, the Fords, the other brands of car don't disappear. It's just we're filtering our world in a way that is sorting to look for Nissans. And this is a similar thing that happens when it comes to health things. In the past, I hadn't considered nutrition, I hadn't considered mindset. I was brought up to believe that if there was something wrong with you, you go to your doctor and medicine will fix you. And so that's what I did. After being diagnosed with MS, I followed all of the medical suggestions. I thought that I just needed to be a better patient, and that's what was going to get me towards the goals I had with improving my health. And until it didn't. And that's when I started to kind of take a look at things from a different perspective. And ultimately, I changed my filter. So no longer was I looking for Nissan Rogues. Oh, now I'm also looking at the Honda Civics. Or I drive a Mazda 3. So now I'm looking for Mazdas or Mazda 3s. And when you're in this narrow perspective of thinking there's only one way to do things, that's what's going to show up for you everywhere. Your unconscious mind is always looking to prove what you think about the most right. And so if you're focused on medicine's the only way, you're only going to see things related to that. Things that don't relate to that are not in your field of view, not in your awareness. And so that's what I wanted to talk a little bit about. And that's what I've been sharing on TikTok for the most part is talking about how different perspectives can open the door to different opportunities. And so when I started to shift my mind and started to look for different things, that's when different things started to show up. That's when nutrition showed up. That's when an understanding that moving my body was really useful for me. For some people, with the fatigue at the beginning of going through this journey, it can be challenging. But over time, as you kind of listen to your body and allow it to adapt gradually for new changes and new challenges, it's amazing what can happen. So I thought when I first started making my changes, I thought that nutrition was the most important thing. So I'd flipped from the like medicine is the only thing you can do to nutrition is what I just need to focus on. And yes, it did make really big changes for me. But I also noticed that I'd gotten myself into this belief again that if I just find the perfect food or the right supplement, my body will just cooperate. And the truth is nutrition is powerful and necessary. Yes, I absolutely, believe that now, and I've seen evidence in, like, hundreds of clients as well, where it's like when we choose the things that we put into our body, and that's not just nutrition, that's the people that we surround ourselves with, that's the things that we watch, that's, the environment that we are a part of. It makes a really big difference in terms of the outcome or output of what our body produces for us. So, yes, food is a really important part, but the unconscious mind, if it's still locked in a survival pattern, it can override even the best choices. And so, this is where nutrition, yes, is a really good place to get started. It's a really good foundation. But again, surrounding yourself with people who are of the energy and of the mindset that are focusing on the things that are in your best interest. And it's like mutual benefit, right? One woman that I worked with had also done everything right. So similar to what I've been talking about, she cut out gluten, she cut out dairy, she cut out processed foods, and she invested in high quality supplements. But even though she followed every piece of advice she could find online, She was still stuck. She still woke up every morning exhausted. Her legs still felt heavy, her body ached, and she wondered if she was missing something or just doing it wrong. And sometimes it's just a little shift that can change and make it so that the good things that you are doing actually have a bigger impact. For this client, when we looked deeper, we discovered a pattern that had started in her childhood. She was the oldest sibling, one of 5 kids, and she was the one who always had to hold everything together. She learned early on that her role was to take care of everyone else, and that resting or asking for help for herself wasn't safe. And so, from an unconscious mind perspective, she was still running that program of it's not safe to take care of me. It's not safe to do what my needs are. And so, if she was running that program decades later, even when her body desperately needed rest and repair, the deep belief was still, I'm not safe to stop. That pattern kept her nervous system stuck in survival, and no supplement can override that. If your unconscious mind does not feel safe, that's one of its main directives. That's one of its main focuses and functions. And so when we can help the unconscious mind realize that it doesn't have to do things to keep you safe, it can actually rest and relax. That's when healing can start to happen. Like we don't tell our heart to beat every time it beats. We don't have to tell our lungs to breathe every time we breathe, our digestion to do what digestion does. We don't tell our hormones to do things. Our unconscious mind controls 90 to 95% of the things we do on a daily basis. And so if you're dealing with something from a physical body side of things that's not functioning the way it's supposed to, maybe it's just an unconscious mind tweak that needs to happen. Maybe the unconscious mind needs to realize that it is safe, that it doesn't need to protect you. It doesn't need to keep you safe from something. It doesn't need to cause you to hold something in. It doesn't need to cause you to hold on to something. This is often a big one when I have people that have a constipation. What are you holding on to? What are you scared of letting go of? Or people that have vision problems, vision challenges. What do you not want to see? There's a lot of different layers to this, but getting an understanding of what the unconscious mind is trying to protect you from or trying to save you from is often very beneficial when it comes to getting healthy. Because the center for health and healing and well-being is run by our unconscious mind. And so if we can get that on board, then you can be like far more ahead and take bigger steps in the right direction because the things that you're already doing might not be wrong. It's just that the body's not actually knowing how to support them or doesn't trust it. So once the pattern was updated for this client that I was telling you about, something changed. Suddenly, the diet and the supplements started working better. Her body finally got permission to use the resources she was giving it instead of fighting against her. And so the unconscious, as I said, it runs 90 to 95% of what we do on a daily basis. And so when we're the kind of child who takes on a lot of responsibility and roles at a young age, so the caretaker, the peacekeeper, the overachiever, this can keep a nervous system stuck in survival mode. And a nervous system that's stuck in survival mode is not focusing on the things that we want it to. It's not focusing on digestion, hormones, health and well-being, improving even like skin, hair, nails. Hair is not a priority to the body. So many women will go through a very stressful period of life, kind of 40s, 50s, and find that they lose a lot of their hair. The body is like, well, nope, the resources need to go somewhere more important. And so this can be a connection as well. This can be connected to kind of that stress response in the system. And it's like, if we don't turn off where that started, it's just going to keep running in the background and causing more problems. So if you're locked in survival, the body doesn't get the full benefit of the physical changes that you're making. The unconscious mind has to be part of the work if you want any lasting change to happen. So think back. What role did you take on in your family as a child? And are you still living in that role today, even at the expense of your health? And because these are things that we just accept and adopt at a young age, it's similar to me being a child and believing that medicine was the only answer if I got sick. I didn't choose that belief. That was a belief that I adopted when I was really young. Because when we're under the age of 7 or 8, our unconscious mind, like there's no filter there. Everything that we hear, we just accept it and take it on. And so after the age of 7 or 8, we have this filter. We have this critical faculty that separates the conscious mind, which is where choice happens, and the unconscious mind, which is where change happens. So this is the goal setter. This is the goal getter. So if we want to move things from the conscious to the unconscious mind, that's where NLP and hypnosis are very helpful. But it's important to understand that before you were 8 years old, you adopted and you took on some beliefs and some values and some different things from other people because you weren't able to filter and decide, do I want to accept this? And so this is an important piece of work that I do with clients, especially my clients with MS, because a pattern that I see over and over and over again when I'm working with women with MS is, yeah, people that took on a lot of responsibility at a young age. And so they weren't taking care of self from a young age, or there was some kind of turbulence, or mom was missing from the family, or dad was missing from the family. Essentially, the two pillars of safety and security when you're a child, if there's kind of trouble there, a child can feel not safe. And so, if you're feeling unsafe in the home as a child, then you go out in the world and you can transfer that feeling of, am I even safe, out into the world. Then the nervous system ends up here because you're at high alert and you're always scanning for danger. Well, if the nervous system is up here, the immune system can mirror that as well. Autoimmune. Autoimmune is a hyperactive immune system. So when we can help bring the nervous system back down to a more calm place, what we do in one place, we do everywhere. And so if we're hyperreactive on the inside or hyperactive on the outside, it mirrors on the inside. So this is one way that I help clients kind of come back to a place of safety and calm inside themselves so they can actually move to more health. So this isn't about blame. These patterns are brilliant survival strategies when you were young, but if they're still running the show now, your body may be paying the price. So if you've been doing all the right things and still feel stuck, it's not because you failed. It could be because your unconscious mind is still working or still waiting to be updated. You're still running an old pattern, an old programming. It's like I did a presentation this morning in business network meeting, which I always do, and I said, "Who had a flip phone in the past? Can you imagine trying to get your flip phone to operate all of the complicated, extensive processes and procedures that our smartphones do now?" It wouldn't work. And it's similar to be able to rewire and update the operating system that your mind has been running on to get it speaking the language that you need to help move forward when it comes to getting healthy and in a better place in your life as well. So if this clicks for you, follow along. I mean, if you want to jump in, I was given a challenge from someone to go live on TikTok every day for a month, so 30 days. And today is day 8, I believe, or day 9, day 9. So I still have 2 more weeks of this. So I'm Kate.McDowell on TikTok. If you want to follow on there, cool. Otherwise, I'm going to share some stuff on here as well. And if you are looking for some help and support when it comes to MS or any kind of health problems where you feel like you know exactly what to do, you're just not getting the results that you want, send me a DM. I'd be more than happy to have a free screening with you. Let's figure out what's going on in your body, what's going on in your mind, your nervous system that's stopping you from getting where you want to go. So I am Kate from Align Natural Health. I don't remember if I said that before. Um, but yes, I'd be more than happy to have a conversation with you. I help women with MS live healthier and happier lives. And if that's something or you know someone in that place, let's have a conversation.